As the chairperson for today. And first of all, I'd like to introduce our guests. We have one returning guest here for his second time, and that is Erfan. Welcome. And we'd like to hear from our guest, as you know from your last meeting. So what brings you back to your second meeting?
Lots of things, namely the way people have the speech and the way then later on, the evaluation. I was really impressed, and the friendliness and other things.
Good, thanks for coming again.
Sure.
And we have a new guest today. Miriam is here for her first time. What brings you to our meeting today, Miriam?
I've heard about your club from a colleague, and as I'm very nervous usually to speak in front of public, I thought I want to improve that.
Okay, well, thank you for being here. And I have to say, it doesn't...
I'm Lily.
I'm Lily. I sent an email to tell her about the meeting.
I have to say, it doesn't seem like you're nervous in front of people, so we...
I know, yeah, but I am inside. Really nervous.
I think most of us can relate to that as well. So, again, welcome to both of you. And also, I'd like to mention that I have not met Diego before, so he is a member, but I have not seen him, so welcome back, and we hope to see you more as well.
I've been very regular. I hope to make it more frequent now.
Good, thank you. Now for our meeting today, actually I want to say one note so that I don't forget at the end of the day. On the 8th of August, right before our next meeting, which is on the 9th of August, we'll have an executive committee meeting. And as I mentioned at the last meeting, all members are invited to come to the executive committee meeting. So you're welcome to come. It will be in room F 1040 at 1300. It's an optional meeting. You don't get any points or anything for coming, but we certainly like as much interaction as we can get. And this is our official room. So anyone who wants to see the official room that we would be using if we did not have this room, please use that as an opportunity to come see that room as well. So without further information, I'd like to turn it over to the Toastmaster of the day. Monica has been a Toastmaster here for as long as I have been a Toastmaster, and I very much look forward to her program today. Toastmaster Monica.
So good morning, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. We're very happy to have you today here with us. Today's theme of the meeting is lifelong learning. You have some quotes here and some inspirational notes. I think this is very important, a very important topic, because we never stop learning. Every person at every stage of their life should learn. I mean, life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must never stop, keep on learning and keep on moving. So whatever your age is, your condition, your situation, just keep up the spirit of learning, of openness, of trying out new things. And I read something interesting that says, life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass, it's about learning to dance in the rain. So I really like that, and I think this should motivate us. And since we're all here to learn something, I would like to start now with the meeting and to guide you through this meeting. I mean, my role of Toastmaster of today is to explain you how the meeting is going to take place. We are going to have 3 parts. First, we have to prepare speeches. We have one great speaker today, one of our most experienced colleagues, and he's going to present a very exciting topic about visual aids. Then we have the table topics. Also, a very experienced colleague. She's Vice President Sergeant of Arms. Sergeant of Arms. Okay. And then at the end we have a third part. This is the evaluation session. So with this, I would like to pass on to the general evaluator, who is our fellow Toastmaster again here.
Fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, what a day today to come together to learn. We won't be able to dance in the rain, but we have Shero and San here, so we'll make the best of this experience today. Without further ado, I'd like to invite our evaluation team. And today the first evaluator is the speech evaluator, Krista, who will be evaluating Sunil's speech. And then we have the timekeeper, Shubha. Please introduce yourself and your task.
Hello Toastmasters, honored guests. It's my pleasure to be timer of the meeting today. So these are 3 posters, and I will be showing for first speech for when it is 5 minutes green, 6 minutes yellow, 7 minutes red. So after 7 minutes, one can continue, but in the competition, it is then disqualified. So for information. And then there will be today Toastmaster session, and the Toastmaster session is of the person who answers the question has 1 to 2 minutes. 1 to 2 minutes. If it is again over 2 minutes, it's again disqualified. But this time 1 minute also is disqualified. And evaluation of speech, who is evaluating today is Krista is evaluating. She has also maximum 3 minutes to evaluate the speech. So when it is 2 minutes, I'll show the green card, 3 minutes yellow card, and 3 minutes red card. So this is my task today.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Shubha. Now we have Yasin, who will be the counter for today.
Dear Toastmasters and dear guests, today will be the counter. So my role would be to listen carefully to the different speeches and to report at the end the numbers of speech killers we can use sometimes misspellings. And do we have our box somewhere? We usually have a small orange box. What we usually do is for each misspelling we do, we put 10 cents on the small box, and we don't put more than 1 euro. Maybe today
Please put a torch.
You're right. But it doesn't mean that we can use much more than we do. We have the
money box is here.
And as I have the guest book in front of me, I just want to take the opportunity to give
I think she
already.
You can perhaps. I have
Oh,
some.
Yeah.
Okay, so if everybody signed it, that's better. That's better.
Thank you very much, Yasin. Let me introduce you now the cameraman and also the ballot counter, the double hat Colade. Please.
Get in front of the camera.
My name, fellow Toastmasters, honored guest. My name is Colade. I'm the cameraman and I'm the ballot counter as well. I will count the ballot papers during the table topic session and announce the winner at the end of the table topic session. Thank you.
That is the introduction part from our side for now. Thank you. Sorry, how could I miss the grammarian? Sorry. Lisa, please introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Madam Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests. Today I'm the grammarian, so my role is to introduce a word and then also to report on the usage of that word during the speeches and also on the usage of English. And so the word of the day is eclectic. So, oops. And eclectic style means the style that derives ideas and tastes from a broad and diverse range of sources. Describes a combination of many different elements of style, themes, mediums, or inspiration pulled from those sources. For example,
if you have an eclectic taste in music, you might enjoy listening to country, hip-hop, gospel, and classical music. You can also find universities that have an eclectic mix of courses. And today we have lifelong learning, so I hope that your life will be an eclectic mix of learning experiences. Eclectic comes from the Greek, which means ek, which is out, and legai, choose. So it's picking out and choosing from different sources. And I also found something interesting on the internet, which is a chart showing the usage of the word eclectic, and it has been increasing, especially since 1960. So I have one handout with 2 copies, so you can read a little bit more about this word, and I hope you will use it. Thank you.
So, Toastmaster Gentian and evaluation teams, thank you very much for introducing yourself and your role. I think we're going to have a very eclectic meeting today. I'm looking forward to it. So on this positive note, I would like to continue to our next part. This is the part of the prepared speeches. And I'm very excited to hear our first speaker. Today we only have one speaker actually. This speaker is, as I said before, very experienced. He has won several contests already. And he represented us, I think it was last year. He won the area contest for the best humorous speech. He even went to Hungary to represent this area. And I remember last time, I think during last session, he also was the best table topic speaker. So to don't keep you waiting, I have the honor to introduce Toastmaster Sunil.
Fellow Toastmasters.
telling the girls
Yes. Perhaps before we start with the speech, I would like to call the evaluator of Sunil to speak about the goals of the speech and the topic of the speech today as well.
Okay, Toastmaster Monica and Toastmaster Sunil, honored guests and fellow Toastmasters. The speech today is project number 8 out of the Competent Communication Manual. It is called Get Comfortable with Visual Aids. The objectives are to select visual aids that are appropriate for your message and the audience, and to use visual aids correctly with ease and confidence. Toastmaster Sunil.
Fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests. Today I'm going to talk about optical illusion. We all live in a world which is so varied, which is so eclectic, and it gives us variety of perception. And optical illusions are part of that variety. It's about how we see things, how we perceive them, and how our minds and bodies work together to form that imagery in our mind, which is called the world of optical illusions. So here we go. Optical illusions actually trick our brain. They make us look at things in a different perspective. They make things appear very different. For example, if you take a look at this picture, it is likely that you would see this image moving. Is that right? Do you see it moving? And really, it's a static image, but the optical illusion is causing these figures or this image to move. And another one. Have a look at this one. Do you see the tentacles of this octopus moving in and out? Have a close look at it. Yes, they are. But in effect, it is all an optical illusion. So what causes optical illusion? This must be a question that comes to your mind. But let me answer this question with a question. Does your vision have everything to do with your eyes? Do you think that way? Probably not. What we see and what we perceive is a combination of what our eyes see and what our brain processes. Optical illusion, in a way, harness the differences in the way the eyes see the things and the brain processes them. And really, at the end of the day, like a computer, our brain processes those images, those visuals, and decides on what is it that's worth telling you or not telling you. It's almost like a computer that has been fed with a program. Your eyes, when you look at something, transmit a lot of data, a lot of information. And that is processed within your brain, which actually requires a lot of power, a lot of capacity, a lot of experience. Very much like a computer. And we human beings are lazy, we all agree. And our brain does exactly the same thing. It chooses the shortest path to that perception and gives you a shortcut in the quickest possible way of the imagery that has been formed inside the brain. And it largely depends on the shadows, perspective, your experiences, something that relates to your culture, the way you dress up. It all sums up in your brain, which actually then provides you with that imagery. When you looked at this image, why is it that you found it to be moving? A study was done at a hospital that concluded that small and rapid eye movements are actually helping you to move this image or to see it appearing to be moving. In the next slide, if you focus on a part of this image very intensely, you will notice that the images are not really moving. Try that. Try to focus on one of the circles, and suddenly you will find that that image is not moving. Is that true? Do you notice that? So that's optical illusion. Now look at this picture. You might see it revolving from left to right, or from right to left, depending on whether you're a right side active brain person or a left side active brain person. And these are all optical illusions. Nothing is happening at the background, but your mind, your eyes, and your capacity to process information is making it move. Now here's a quiz for you. Which center circle is bigger? What do you think?
It's the same.
You all guessed it, it's all same. It's a matter of relativity. If you look on the left side, the center appears to be slightly smaller because it is surrounded by some bigger images, some bigger shadows. Likewise, which line is longer? They're all the same, but the optical illusion is causing it to appear longer or shorter. And this one, same lines appear to be of different size, caused by how our brain is processing the information. What do you see, two faces or a water goblet? The first impression perhaps is a water goblet, but actually there are two faces in there. Again, your brain, being a computer, wants to give you the fastest outcome, the fastest processed information. Likewise, what do you see, an old woman or a young one? It's your perception, it's your illusion. And that's why they say age is only a number. It's a matter of how you look at it. And the color of a woman in a mirror. Do you see the difference? It's all about how you focus on an image and how your brain processes them. Eskimo or Native American hair, same thing. Now, which one do you see first here? This is the first time you did not point out on me. You looked at good. Normally it's all about me. It's all about your brain trying to get you the fastest information it finds. How many black dots are there? Do you see them changing? It's all an optical illusion. Now if you follow the black dot and gaze it in the center, you will find that the darkness around that black dot is disappearing. True? Did you notice that? And this is very interesting. If you look at the cross inside, Do you see the color changing? Is it becoming green? It's all optical illusion. How many legs do you see here? Now playing with the words. Optical illusion is not all about images. It's also about words and letters. Read this line very quickly. I love Paris in the summer time. Now read it slowly. I love Paris in the. Did you notice that in the first instance? Probably not. How many F's do you see in this passage? There are 6 of them, if you didn't count them right. And this is the most interesting one. According to a research at an English university, it does not matter in what order the letters or in a word are. The only important thing that first and the last letter is at the right place. The test can be a total mess and you can still read it without problem. This is because we do not read every letter by itself, but the word as a whole. And as you can see, this is all about your brain having read these words, process them, store them, and reproducing them as quickly as possible. The Stroop effect. Take a minute to look at the words and also say the color of the ink. Can you very quickly do that? What is the difference? In psychological terms, the Stroop effect is a demonstration of interference in the reaction time between what you see and how your brain processes that information. And the words themselves have a stronger effect in your ability to say than the color, because color needs a lot more processing than words. And the speed of processing of words is a lot faster than recognizing your color. And naming a color actually requires a lot more attention, because the color can be of different shapes and size and shapes as well. In conclusion, optical illusions are all about how your eyes see something, passes that information back to your brain, and how your brain, like a computer, processes them and brings about the fastest result in the quickest time. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, sir. Never stop learning, because life never stops teaching you. So every day you are confronted and you learn new things. I mean, you have to keep your eyes open and visualize yourself like as a growing person learning a lot. It was extremely interesting, and I think we're going to continue having a very eclectic meeting. Now we're going to pass to our second part of the meeting, table topic masters, and I have the honor to introduce table.
1 minute to do this.
Yes, I would like to introduce Rina, who is going to be the table topic master today. And at the same time, I would like you to write down. You have some little papers in front of you with a form where you can provide feedback to Sunil. So I give you 1 minute so that you can write down something for Sunil. And then I would like to hand over to Rina, who is going to have table topics today.
Toastmasters or a guest. I hope we will have an eclectic table topics. Okay, here what I prepare is I have some pictures here, and I will give you one picture, and the person has to describe what you see, and afterwards I will tell you what it is about. Okay, who wants to volunteer? Toastmaster Diego, do you want to volunteer?
If I say no, what happens?
Oh, come on, we are here. I mean, we are here to learn, so pick up one person. Okay. Please explain what you see, and you can also show to others if you want.
How much time do you have?
Minimum.
Can I show the pictures?
Oh, so of course, you show to everyone.
Okay, probably the right time of the year, and I'm sure many of you have seen something similar. So, could be Croatia, I don't know. That seems to be one of the places everybody seems to be going this year or this summer. Well, I don't know how many of you already have the holidays behind you or coming ahead. In my case, I'm driving to Spain in a week's time. It's all the way to Valencia, which I have a small boy, I don't know how that will work out. So it's the time of the day where everybody is hoping for fun, sun, relaxing time, recuperate for the rest of the year, spending time with family and friends, and that's what I want to do when I go to Valencia, near Valencia. And boats, I will, one of my when I go in pension, when I'm kind of close, I hope to become more involved with sailing and with boats. I think that's all I have to say about the picture. Looking forward for a great summer. And all of you, I hope you're all looking for the same way, thinking the same way. Thank you.
Master Diego, you picked up the right card because it is an article about walking on Andalusia's eastern coast. It is Spain. You see? You picked up the right card.
We are knowing.
Yeah. And do you want to pick up one and talk?
As a guest.
As a guest, Mario?
Yep.
Sure. Yeah, you see.
I know what you mean with being nervous inside. And outside.
So there are some mosquitoes on the side sex, most probably mosquitoes. You know, last week my daughter was born. It was the first kid, and her name is Valentina. Where we live in Vienna is 19th district, next to one of those vineyards, and so most probably we also face some mosquitoes. My wife Valentina and I, we were talking to each other how can get rid of those mosquitoes, because before it didn't matter to us if some mosquitoes they come in, but because of a new baby it would be difficult for us. Then we were talking about discussing over using sprays, or if we use some nets, or we were talking about, my wife is so green, is said no, sprays are not, because of the chemical stuff is not good for baby. Then we came to the conclusion that is better that we choose a bedroom that is not next to the balcony for Valentina, and so far Valentina is a 2-week baby and is safe and sound. Thank you.
Thank you. Actually the picture is coming from an article. Spain reports first case of baby born with microcephaly after mother contracts Zika virus. It was an article about the Zika virus.
So we should play it.
Toastmaster Lily, please.
My husband's all into the gender argument. I was a communications trainer and I had to do a course on gender mainstreaming as a part of the Austrian education program. When you're training unemployed people, then you have to do a course in gender mainstreaming and multicultural communication. And for me, gender mainstreaming meant becoming aware of the differences between men and women and not treating everybody all the same and expecting everybody to do the same. I have arguments with my husband about the German language where they talk about Lehrer and Lehrerin, teacher and teachers, or however you want to say it in English. The differentiation between men and women in the language itself, but also apart from the gender aspect, there's the formal and the polite form and the personal form, which English has basically abolished. And we heard here at a speech a few months ago about Sweden having abolished the polite form and only uses it in terms of referring to the Queen. So this looks to me like it's it looks to me like these are male and this one could be female, even though maybe it's supposed to represent a family, but if I think of family, I think of 2 adults and smaller children. And that is really my central philosophy, is always about families and people and relationships and communicating. So I'm very curious what this is really actually supposed to represent, because it conjures up a lot of different images for me, and it gives me the opportunity to talk about the hobby horse. My husband thinks that gender mainstreaming is evil and really bad because it makes a lot of things that are portrayed in the media about teaching children that they can choose whether they want to be a boy or a girl, which is ridiculous.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lily. Actually, the article is about Dutch men confirmed as world's tallest. So if you really want world's tallest, Dutch men. Dutch men confirmed as world's tallest. So if you really want to see some tall, big men, go to Holland. Okay, Toastmaster Yassine, do you want to pick up a photo? Because all of us have photos, so please.
So I picked up this picture. It is a soldier. We can see him. I guess he's a man. From the back there is a helicopter. It's a very dry area. Unfortunately, it is something we hear a lot about today. Either this situation is what comes out of the media, or some other kind of situations that are more or less related to war. So the first thing that comes into my mind is how things are going on today. I personally feel a little bit sad about many situations, difficult situations related to war, people fighting against each other increasing. At the same time, I'm trying to focus on what people can do, not to focus on this kind of events, but what we could do to avoid that. And I know that many people are doing it, and these are very long-term energy put somewhere, and this is something that doesn't attract media or interest of people on a day-to-day basis. And yesterday I thought about that because I came back from France, and I met this old woman in the subway. I helped her to carry her luggage, and then we spent some time in the subway discussing, and I directly switched from a country where some really difficult situations happened recently to some old woman that spent her whole year, or at least the latest year, moving to India and living in a very basic way and spending all her time traveling and trying to support charity projects. And this is a choice she made. And I just thought that we see lots of these pictures, but I have never seen her anyway. This is what
the picture told you. This picture is actually an article about climate change. And something that we don't hear. The title of this picture is "Climate Change Increases the Risk of War, Scientists Prove." So many times the reason behind a lot of reallocation of people is the climate change. That's something we do know. There are many other interests, but climate change is also one of the factors. So this article is about climate change. Learning by doing, okay? Now, Melissa, do you want to pick up a photo?
Fellow Toastmasters, ordered guests. The picture I picked is looks like a meeting where people are extremely bored and some of them already are falling asleep. And this reminds us again why we are here today. So our meetings never end up like this. We want to become excellent speakers and we want to engage our audiences. It also reminds me, I heard somewhere that a new app is being developed, which is the cost of a meeting app. So you just add up, you're here, P5, you have a P4, P3, and what step, and then the clock starts ticking, and then you go like, you're already at 5,000 euro, do you want to carry on with your meeting? And especially if people are sleeping, and there's just one person talking. So I started asking the agencies to also buy this app. So yes, yeah, I'm very happy that we are here today and we took this in our hands, that we became better speakers, that we become more eclectic speakers, and that we just can engage people and people do not fall asleep while we talk.
Thank you, Toastmaster Melissa. The title of this picture is "Paid to Yawn, Can Being Bored at Work Can Damage Your Health." It is from the BBC News. Okay, Toastmaster Yasin, I attack you.
Come
Come. You still have got two
All right.
Yeah. Okay, please, Toastmaster Yasin.
Toastmaster
Collade, I'm sorry. Toastmaster Collade.
Toastmasters. One guest for the Toastmasters. I think today is my lucky day. Because this picture actually is an incident that happened in Japan. Most of the time when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is I try to, while preparing for work, I try to listen to the news at the same time on Al Jazeera. And I check my phone to see what the latest occurrence is. Like Yasin said, I think in the last couple of days, we've been hearing about different kind of attacks all over the world. And I think how I say now, because of the weight of this attack, is encouraging more people to carry out more attacks all over the world. And apparently, the picture we are seeing here is somebody attacked, went to a disability facility home in Japan, and stabbed about 19 people. But I'm not sure, I think they attacked quite a number of people, about 19 people are dead, and over 20 of the inmates are injured right now. And with the whole attack going on in the world, and the issue about people having guns and weapons being carried, people having access to weapons, most countries are trying to restrict citizens carrying weapons all around. But Japan is a bit sick because they don't really have access to weapons. But upon all the high safety level in Japan, you still find out like people still carry out attacks even with other kind of weapons, not necessarily guns. Thank you.
Fellow Toastmasters, it's right. It took place in a cave center in Japan, in Sagamihara. A former employee did it. Went there and with a knife killed so many people. They were all disabled people. And when the police questioned him, his answer was he wanted to be removed, all the disabled people. And for Japan it is such a shock because it is the safest country, and apparently it has never happened in the last century or something like that. And Japan is under shock right now. Yeah, and that is the police in front of the car, in front of this airport. Actually, it was in a disabled home place. The last photo. Who wants to volunteer?
Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, this is a photo of ice melting. As we heard before, climate change is not only melting ice, but it is transforming our lives, and is expected to do that in a dramatic way in the upcoming decades. And this picture, I think, should come from either the northern pole or maybe northern pole. And the northern pole, as many of you may know, has lost quite a percentage of ice from the 80s onwards. It must have lost almost 43% of its ice coverage during summer. Now this is quite dramatic for climate change, because in the upcoming decades the lost ice will induce a situation where the oceans will increase their temperatures, and all the beings that populate the oceans will be affected by the increase of acidity in the water. And this will obviously create issues for us human beings who created this situation in first place through the emissions of greenhouse gases. So this picture is a somber signal to us that we must change our lifestyle, we must pay attention to what we do, the way we live our lives, how much we consume, and think what we want to leave to our children tomorrow.
Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, it was a very interesting, very serious answer. But in reality, it is a rare white whale spotted off Australia's coast. It is a white whale swimming in Australia's coast.
That was my first version, but I opted the second one.
Because it is more serious, huh?
I couldn't speak about Moby Dick, sorry.
This is a rare white whale spotted off Australia's coast. So this is something very rare, and actually it's a very positive news. You see how illusion works, huh? Illusion works. So,
that was an optical illusion.
This is an optical illusion, yes. Rare white whale or ice melting. Okay. These were the 7 questions I prepared. I request you to vote for the best table topics, and we are going to.
Thank you very much. So thank you very much for Toastmaster Rina. It was very eclectic to see all these answers, different interpretations of the pictures. So I give you now a couple of minutes. You have again this little sheet of paper where you can select or choose vote for the best table topic speaker today. Perhaps I will just summarize who had the possibility to describe a picture. First we had Diego talking about vacation and Valencia and summer plans. Then we had Irfan. I don't remember exactly what he described the picture in a very nice way. I probably missed some details.
Mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes, yeah. He talked
Mosquitoes.
about his daughter and mosquitoes and the way he's getting rid of mosquitoes. Then we had Jesse, who had a very interesting picture of someone who was a soldier who was fought in a war region. Of course, I can't remember Toastmaster Lily, who was speaking about gender mainstreaming, but yeah, Dutchman, but she had a very nice interpretation of gender mainstreaming. Then we have Toastmaster Melissa, who was telling us how not to bore our audience and what to do in order to keep our audience attracted and to keep the attention of people we're speaking to. Then we have Toastmaster Colare. Toastmaster Colare was speaking about an event that happened today, I guess, in Japan. And at the end, we had Toastmaster Gentian, who gave us a very interesting speech about global warming and the melting of ice and the effects of it. So I hope you had time, or you still have time, a couple of seconds to vote, or everybody already gave his vote? Yes, I think so. So we can now move on to the third part of our meeting. And I would like to hand over to our general evaluator, who is going to present together with his team the results of this evaluation. Toastmaster Gentian.
Thank you very much. Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, we had a very eclectic meeting today with so many different arguments that we touched upon. We began on time, we took our roles on time and seriously, and we must congratulate Sunil. You always manage to surpass yourself anytime you speak, so wonderful speech, congratulations. With regards to the table topics, very, very well done. Congratulations to you, Rina, sorry. And I very much liked the variety of different arguments we had. And some of us made errors. Me, in first place, I missed the white whale, but that happens. The important thing is that we all learned something and had fun in the meantime. And that is my message for today. Thank you very much.
Introduce the evaluator of the speech.
I have the honor now to introduce the first stage evaluator, Krista. Please, who will evaluate Sunil's speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gentian, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, and especially Toastmaster Sunil. It was a pleasure listening to your speech. It was very well done. My evaluation will go through some of the high points of the speech and also provide a few areas that could benefit from more attention. The book is very specific about speaking about the visual aids and making sure that the visual aids are appropriate for the speech. There were several eclectic visual aids that you used, and it was a pleasure, I think, for all of us to look at the different types of optical illusions that we can be subject to. The slides were fairly consistent. There might have been a few too many of them as the time seemed to go on a little bit. I think you had to rush through them. And we were really enjoying, I believe, each and every slide and each and every optical illusion that you had. So it would be nice to be able to have a few less slides in that case. The purpose was subtle. I believe the purpose was for us to learn from your presentation, but it also could have been for us to learn more about ourselves and how we perceive things. I would have enjoyed it to know more about what the purpose of the speech was. And I believe you're an advanced enough speaker that the next time you present this type of speech, you could give us more guidance of what we're trying to to get out of the speech. The slides were clearly visible, they were easy to read. In some cases there might have been too many words on the speech, or on the visual aid. But this also goes back to your presentation skills, because you are very good at keeping the audience trained on what you are saying. So you don't need so many words up there. Your words are coming through to us very nicely. So in the end, I want to thank you for a very well done speech, a very enjoyable speech with an eclectic mix of slides. You could have had a more clear purpose. Your strong vocal variety was a real attention getter for us, and we appreciate the work that you put into presenting speeches. Thank you.
Madam Evaluator, I want to call now upon the grammarian project.
Thank you. So, on the usage of the word of the day, eclectic, I counted for Krista 2 times. Monica was champion 3 times. Sunil 1. Rina 1. And I also used it in my table topics 1 time. On the use of generic grammar and usage of English, there was an incredible slide from Sunil, which was full of mistakes, but I think this was to introduce, I couldn't count them because there were like 1 mistake in every word. It was to introduce the Stroop effect, or Stroop effect, which is something that I never heard before, so I also learned the word, so thank you for that. Other than that, I noticed one of the sentences from Irfan. I wasn't quite sure, but it seems that you said, my wife, Valentin, and I, we were talking, but as I understand, Valentin is a small baby. So it was kind of nice that you introduced the baby to the conversation, so the baby was following, and yeah, it was nice. What else? Then Gentian mentioned the Northern Pole. So I'm not a native speaker, so I don't know if it's you just say the North Pole, or you can also say the Northern Pole. The North Pole, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now it is the time for the timekeeper to tell us what happened.
Toastmasters are guests and Gentian the general evaluator. The timing report for today is starting from the first speaker, Sunil. It was 9:30 minutes, but it was such an electric speech, and we all enjoyed so much, and I think it's fine for this session. And now comes the table topics. Diego, you had 1 minute 45 seconds. Elfan, 1 minute 30 seconds. Lily, 1 minute 55 seconds. Yasin, 2 minutes 10 seconds. Over 2 minutes. Melissa, 1 minute 15 seconds. Kolade, 1 minute 40 seconds. Gentian, 1 minute 45 seconds. Actually, as a timekeeper, I am also supposed to time general evaluator, but since it was in 2 sessions, you started again.
Sorry, I made you lose track.
Yeah, so there I'm a bit lost. So no timing taken. That ends my report.
Very much.
Yasin, please, the counter.
The following report is as follows. Of course, the more you are exposed, the more you have the chances to increase your score and our budget. So, Toastmaster Monica 8, Toastmaster Rina 2, Toastmaster Diego 1, Toastmaster Colade 2, Toastmaster Gentian 3, Toastmaster Melissa 1, our dear guest Stefan 3, and I could count 4 for myself, which I believe is the upper part of the iceberg.
The learning by doing, I overlooked Krista's time. Then, yeah, 2:30. So you are within 2 minutes. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So we have the bell counter pull up, please. I'm not sure if you got a chance to.
The winner of today's table topic session is Toastmasters Blessing.
And before I conclude my general evaluation for today, let me congratulate on behalf of the VIC Club we found for your daughter. Welcome, Valentina, to this world. Excellent news.
No.
So thank you very much to Toastmaster Gentin and his evaluation tool for this very eclectic evaluation. It's very interesting. I would also like to thank all of you for your participation in today's meeting, our special guests. I hope we will see you again very soon. And also to all of you, because I know it's summertime and we are still making the effort to come here and to learn a lot. It's a life learning process, so we are doing our best. And now I would like to hand over to our president, Krista, who is going to summarize and finalize the meeting.
So we've heard the winner for the table topics for today, and it was quite a heated contest. There were many table topics, and it was enjoyable to hear so many in one meeting. Toastmaster Yassine, if you could come up and read your reading. And I also have a presentation for someone else today. The last 2 meetings I presented a challenge for someone to take on the role of Toastmaster of the Day. And Toastmaster Monica rose to that challenge. It is not an easy task. Our schedule doesn't necessarily make it an easy task. It is a little bit difficult to follow. So I really appreciate, and I think I can speak for everyone here, that we appreciate that you signed up for Toastmasters of the Day, and also that you did such an outstanding job. And in my challenge, I said I would bring something. And the second time, because no one signed up the first time I did the challenge, so the second time I said it would be even better if someone signs up. And so she did. And for those familiar with Austria, it's not necessarily a chocolate-making country. However, there is a place down by Graz that is called Zotter. And it is fantastic chocolate. And so I happen to have a mix. They also do eclectic mixes. And it truly is all different types of flavors, and I have to show it to you because it's very pretty. So this is what we have for Toastmaster Monica today. Thank you, David. And now Toastmaster Monica has many, many friends. So I will issue the challenge again, although I don't plan on having a prize for the next one, because I do believe that the prize really is doing the work of being Toastmaster of the Day, being General Evaluator of the Day, speaking, even table topics. They can also be very challenging depending on where we are in our speaking roles, in our lives, in our current experience. So please sign up, and sign up as early as you can for the meeting. We've mentioned before that there are other clubs in this area who have to fight for roles. They are lucky to get roles during their meeting. They have so many members that they have a hard time getting speech time and all that. So consider yourselves lucky that you can have a lot of experience during our meetings. I wanted to remind you again that the Executive Council meets on the 8th of August in room F1040 at 1 o'clock. You're invited. If you come and you find that it's not a well-ran meeting and people are falling asleep, you're welcome to leave. Unless you're on the Executive Council, then you have to stay. I also wanted to mention that Speakeasy is not always really easy to use. We've brought this up before. If you have trouble with Speakeasy, please email me or one of the other Executive Council members that you know. We'll do our best to try to fix it, and it will be a topic at our next Executive Council meeting as well, to try to make this a little more user-friendly. And finally, I wanted to bring up LinkedIn. If you are not familiar with LinkedIn, it is a website that you can go to, and it's professionally based. You can put your profile in, become a member for free, and view other people's profiles. But the reason I mention it is that Toastmasters International has a really good page on there, an excellent page. They bring up so many really good articles. So if you're on LinkedIn already, please join and follow Toastmasters International. They have so many great ideas. If you're not on LinkedIn, I would suggest it might be helpful to go on there and start reading more from Toastmasters International. They do a really good job on there. And now I would like to hear from our guests again. We would like to hear from our guests again. Toastmaster Miriam, what did you think of our meeting today? Not Toastmaster yet.
Yeah, I was very grateful to join. It was interesting and good exercise. And yeah, people are very nice, seem to be very nice. I don't know you yet, but yeah, I see you all very nice and very comfortable at the surroundings. So yeah, I would definitely like to join.
Yeah, good. Thanks for coming. Toastmaster Erfan very bravely did our table topics today. What did you think of the meeting in general today?
Yeah, it's great. I really enjoyed your presentation. It was a pleasure listening to all the speeches, and I really enjoyed myself.
Good. Thank you, and welcome again. Are there any other last notes for the meeting?
I wanted to ask, what is Speakeasy?
Speakeasy is the electronic website that we use to schedule the meeting and to sign up for roles.
Okay.
So, and it's extremely helpful.
And when it is done, I can print the program from the EC Speak, from the program.
Okay.
From the EC Speak program.
And we can go several meetings out. So if you're planning a speech and you want 6 weeks to prepare, or you know you're going to be in town, you can sign up many weeks in advance. So it's very helpful. Okay. Anything else? Okay, this meeting is closed.